Hey everybody, this is Kyle and Will with AttackOfTheFanboy.com, and this is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the multiplayer. We have also done a video like this on the campaign, which there should be a description in the description. There should be a link in the description below, so check that one out if you're interested in the single-player campaign. But this is all multiplayer, what probably 80% of people buy. That's probably a low number. You think that's like 95% of people buy Call of Duty for the multiplayer?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing that's where most people spend their time, but I don't know. I have no idea. They came out one year and said, like, more time is spent playing the campaigns than the multiplayer.
There's
but I think
no
that was
way.
bullshit.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Everyone,
bullshit.
that was the feeling, to give the disclaimer that we did in our other video. They flew me out to San Francisco to check out this game with a bunch of other reviewers, and it was like the first couple of days were the campaign, and then they were like, all right, is everybody ready for the multiplayer? And I was like, yeah, okay, finally. Here we go. We're getting into the meat of the experience here, which, I mean, it really is. This is still, despite all the changes, despite the big controversy over the shift to the future, this is still Call of Duty multiplayer, top to bottom. I'm hoping that you see that through my terrible gameplay, because I'm.
Oh yeah, you're not a COD pro.
No, not at all.
So,
I was near the end.
you-
This is one of my earlier matches. I tried to find some of my later matches, and I think my recording didn't save for those later ones. I was getting much better near the end.
That's all right. The internet will haze you.
Yeah, thank you.
This guy sucks. I tried to stream Call of Duty one time.
Oh.
Holy shit, that was a bad experience.
Yeah, I bet.
Everybody was just like, this guy is the worst Call of Duty player ever. And I'm usually okay. It's like, I'm not the best.
Yeah.
But fucking people are cruel.
Yeah, but this
Anyway, so, yeah.
Go ahead.
I played this back at Call of Duty XP as well. So I have some, and there's been an open beta. So a lot of people have kind of made their minds up on what they like about this game, what they don't like. A lot of it is kind of similar to Black Ops, the last Black Ops game.
Mm-hmm.
The game that came out last year. They kind of used a lot of the systems from that.
Yeah.
And that was also kind of a divisive game.
Yeah,
Right?
I
mean, some people loved it, some people didn't. I actually didn't mind. Like, I guess that's not a great. Like, I didn't mind this game. I thought it was good. I thought some of the stuff that they put in there was good, and Treyarch obviously built a base that is being used for this multiplayer game as well. I mean, am I correct in saying that?
No, I mean we tried asking about kind of big changes or anything like that. There doesn't seem to be anything here where it's just like this is the new movement mechanic, or this is the new anything, because they really did just sort of they took that base and they put it into a futuristic setting. And
right.
That's if you're just wanting more Call of Duty multiplayer, you're definitely getting that here. There's no big shift in the movement. You still have your wall run, you have your slide, you have your everything, your boost and all of that. So everything really functions the way that you kind of expect. You can pick up the controller on day one and just be right back into the game. There's not a ton that's different. They've tweaked stuff here and there, but I don't think a lot of their tweaks are within the actual gameplay.
Okay. What does that mean?
I think the tweaks are more in the outer elements, like how you unlock weapons, and that's still pretty similar. So, but there's no specialists, which was that Black Ops 3 that introduced specialists?
Yeah, that was last year's game with the specialists.
Yeah,
instead you're using combat rigs.
Yes, exactly. So you choose your combat rig, and you can actually change the way that they look. There's a lot of cosmetic items here that you can unlock and shift your character, but also there are different unlocks in terms of abilities and power-ups and stuff like that you can attach to the combat rig. So I have this claw gun, but that's not the only thing that's available on this combat rig, and then if I switch to a different combat rig, it'll have a totally different set of, you know, what is that even called? The power-up weapon.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever that power-up thing is in the bottom right corner, whatever it's called, you have different options. There's even one that you can, you know, use to teleport across the map. It's called FTL or something like that.
Yeah, and you can turn into like a fucking animal and run around.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's like crazy power-ups in this game.
Yes.
Some people, like, the reception from even... I mean, this is just... the Call of Duty community is so vocal about, okay, we don't want this anymore. I mean, I can think 3-4 years ago where it was just like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. I want something new. And then, like, they gave it to them. And now they're like, I want to go back to boots on the ground.
Yeah.
I want this back. I mean, this game has evolved quite a lot over the last few years. And, I mean, I personally enjoy the kind of wall running and the power-up weapons and stuff. Some people think that they're a little bit overpowered, especially in this one. The time to kill seems like it's super fast compared to previous games. But I didn't play much of the beta, and I probably won't dig into it as much until like the game actually comes out. But what was your impressions of like the actual gunplay, the actual like? I mean, do you feel like this is Black Ops 3 more the same, pretty much? I mean, which is a solid game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play a ton of Black Ops 3 to do a direct comparison, but just from my time playing every Call of Duty game, it still feels the same to me in terms of the raw gunplay and how everything works. It's just that, you know, of course, the movement stuff that they've added over the years really shifts things in terms of you need to watch for these wall paths, and you know, your sight lines are different where you can, you know, jump over crates instead of just having to go around them, and so that shifts the gameplay a lot in terms of that. And we would have different areas where people had sort of routes that they would take, and you would need to keep an eye on that. There's always a way. There's always two ways to get to every spot on the map because of these. Like, you can see that spot requires you to either boost or wall run to get there, or you can go around the other side. So it's just everything is always in motion, always fluid, and I think that that's pretty much the same as how it's been. It's just a little bit more. We played some Modern Warfare Remastered multiplayer, and it was just like
Holy shit,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But it was also like, wow,
so
this
different.
is really slow.
Yeah.
Which that game was so fast when it came out, but now it's like, I can't climb onto that thing. I've got to actually take the stairs. And
yeah, they had those servers up over the weekend for Modern Warfare Remastered online, and I played some of that. And coming back to that game, I mean, it's a classic. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it is slow compared to like how Infinite Warfare plays.
Yeah,
for sure,
definitely.
But you liked this. I mean, as part of you are reviewing this for our site, and you enjoyed.
I had a very good time playing multiplayer. You know, it wasn't like blew me out of my chair. Oh my God, this is amazing! This is a revolution in multiplayer.
Right, more refinements than anything.
Yeah. They took what they had, they refined it, and gave it a new coat of paint. Not only visually, but in terms of like being able to. They have the whole solar system for settings now.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the Middle East or some war-torn city or something like that. It can be something like this, where this is, I think, floating in space. I don't actually know the specific setting of this, but that may be minor, but it's pretty interesting. It opens up the landscape a whole lot in terms of what they can do with the maps and how the maps look.
The maps look, I mean, this map in particular I haven't seen. It looks like there is a lot of stuff in here.
Yes.
As far as just the design and aesthetic of it looks amazing.
Yeah, and there were definitely, like, you know, it's the same group of people playing the game over and over again. And so you sort of build your own little microcosm of what you experience on when the servers go live, which is millions of people playing this game over and over again, and you start to figure out, you know, spots in the map.
Right.
And that all was happening in every single map that we played and every match that we played. You started to develop these ideas of, okay, well, they're going to be here. I kind of know that they're going to be here, so I can flank them. And then, of course, they do the same to you. They flank you. And so it was interesting to see. But it shows that these maps seem well-designed in that stuff was already happening.
Yeah, they're really good at pushing action in these games as far as, you know, usually the maps follow a, you know, 3-lane layout. Mm-hmm. And then as they've added the movement, they've also put those like shortcuts, like you said, where you can go around and flank and run walls and do stuff like that. But it's generally like 3 lanes usually. I mean, yeah. At least I haven't played enough of this game to, you know, and enough of the maps, obviously. The beta was pretty limited. And I'd actually played the same map like over and over. So I don't know. What did you think of the variety in terms of, did you see or notice any variety in the maps that you played?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was pretty wide set. Maybe not in terms of their design. Like you said, I think most of them do fall back on that 3 or so lanes. There's definitely, you know, 2 main spawn points, and then you kind of have an idea of where your conflicts are going to happen.
Right.
But in terms of aesthetics, yeah, you go from old town USA. And there's one map that I think is built around that idea, and then you go into space with rockets. There's a rocket on this map, and there's a lot of that. There was a really cool ice map that was actually really well designed with a lot of different paths, a lot of shortcuts, and that was, I think, one of the favorites of the group.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the map variety is good. It's solid. There's no, like, giant map. Everything is sort of mid-size.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the Call of Duty brand at this point.
Yeah, I think they've kind of settled on, you know, the smaller, force people into combat very, very quickly. Did you? What did spawns feel like for you? Were you getting killed in the back? That's always a major complaint of people. Like, I mean, every fucking year I say, "God damn, the spawns suck in this game."
Yeah, that was still there.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I think that's just how it is.
Yeah, with these smaller maps, definitely. I mean, there's just seems to be no way around it, because I don't know. It wasn't.
What the fuck is this? This looks fucking awesome. What is this?
This is the same map, actually.
Okay.
I didn't mean to leave the same map in there, but yeah, I think this is the same map.
No,
but yeah, this one's cool. This one
is like in zero gravity or kind of low gravity.
So there's only one map where gravity actually is sort of a thing, but it's only after you die. Your body will float away.
Yeah, they had that in the beta.
Yes. So that's not this one.
But this is not the same map. This is like a wrecked spaceship or something.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this is floating around a black hole. Like, that's where we're at with with Call of Duty maps. Yeah. Is that they can be anywhere now. So yeah, it's really, really cool. Well designed. It looks good. And just like the campaign, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was 60 frames, front to back, non-stop. I didn't see any dips. They know what they're doing in terms of making a fast, action shooter that feels good.
And again, did you also get a chance to see this on the PS4 Pro?
No. PS4 Pro was only campaign. Yeah, which would be interesting, because I know the big concern is frame rate, but if this is already 60 frames, they can't really go much higher than that on console. So,
all right, so let's stop beating around the bush with the things that we like about this game. There are some things that might like the community is already kind of up in arms about.
Yeah, and maybe rightfully so. I don't honestly.
It's hard to tell at this point, but
yeah, it's going to be hard to tell until it gets into the hands of just everyone. Don't mind me falling off the map there. So yeah, there's a bit of controversy, and it is something that I noticed, which is that the unlock system, there is stuff locked behind these crates that you can earn. You earn keys that you can spend to buy these crates. You can also just give some money, and then you can get the crates. And those crates do, that's obviously a ton of games do that. But
every game on the market today does this shit. I mean,
yes.
it is without a doubt the new trend in every single multiplayer game. That is like how they're making money.
Crate unlocks, yep. But this one does have guns, and not just cosmetic guns, actual guns with stat differences and different abilities.
New. Like, they've been doing that for a while. The thing is like, how big are those stat differences, and is it going to change the balance of the game? That's, I think, is where, we don't know yet until this game is probably out live, and, people are, getting more familiar with it, and you start noticing, like, what guns are, like, overpowered? Are they the ones that are in those supply crates? Are those the ones, like, because a couple years ago, they had a very, very good, it's like a good assault rifle or something. I think it was 2 years ago, not in Black Ops 3, but in Advanced Warfare. They had a single gun that you could get from a supply drop that had stat boosts that played well for a certain type of play style. It just melted. It just melted, enemies down. So it felt very overpowered. But it was also something you could earn for free. So anybody had a chance to get it, but not everybody did. I happened to get it, so I didn't give a fuck. I got it for free, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. And my friends were like, how the fuck did you get that? Well, I got it in a supply drop, and I got it for free. So if they want that, even back then, they would need to roll the fucking dice with $1.99 and say, and that's, that trend seems to be continuing here. It's just a matter of how egregious it actually is in this game, right?
Yeah. And at one point, they just loaded us up with keys, and we got to open a ton of crates just to kind of see how that worked and see how the unlocks work.
I wish you had a video of that, because that shit is fucking awesome. I do have a video
of that.
Okay. I like doing that in every fucking game. Yeah. Just like, they could make a game, unlock these boxes, just keep pressing the button. I think
awesome. I opened maybe 20 to 30 rare loot crates. So check the channel for that video when I get that put together. But yeah, so they just let us unlock almost everything that we wanted. And after that, I would say, from my non-elite, non-pro standing, I did not see a massive difference in terms of what people were using.
Right.
Even if a couple of people didn't get that because of timing and they weren't in the room when they were handing it out, stuff like that, those people were not at the bottom of the game charts.
Right.
This was not going from 50 damage to 75 damage. It's usually going from like 50 damage to maybe 55, and then you might have a bit of a dip in your accuracy. Stuff like that.
Right, there are little trade-offs. But, I mean, if you follow some of the, the more popular Call of Duty YouTubers, I know that they've done some, analysis on some of these guns, and I think the big thing that, the major complaint was that there is no, penalty on some of these guns. There's no penalty. Yeah. It's just a better gun.
That is true.
It's a variant that, there's no benefit to using the normal, the normal non-modified gun to the buffed weapon, which could get a lot of people to purchase these supply crates or whatever the fuck they're called this year, and that's where people are going to start getting pissed. But, I think people have been spending money on this game. I think it's got to be one of the bigger multiplayer games where people plunk down the cash. I mean, they've been buying stuff in this game for years, whether it was gun skins or now that it's weapons. But I mean, I have to trust your opinion that you don't think that you saw, like, when this game goes out to the public, it is not going to feel, let's just say it, pay to win.
Yeah, I personally would say no, it's not. But if you don't want any inkling of that, if you don't want that at all, then you might have a problem here. It is definitely there. All this stuff can be unlocked by playing the game, but it's going to take a lot. You're going to have to play a lot of this game if you want to get all of your unlocks.
There's two sides to that coin, though. Like, I don't mind, as long as it's not too grindy. Because Call of Duty does a good job of, like, doing promotional weekends and letting you earn that stuff on a
double keys and
amplified or increased pace. So I mean, for me personally, I like the grind of that. It keeps you going for something. I used to do the camo unlocks because once you play this game, if you play this game a lot, you're going to play the same maps over and over and over and over, and it gives you something to work towards. I mean, there is that, but
you definitely have a lot to work towards, because there's not only you have salvage, which is only earnable in game. You can't buy that, and that you can use to specifically upgrade. Like, there was an assault rifle that I grew attached to. I really liked it, and so I used the salvage that I got to specifically upgrade that one.
Okay.
And that was stuff that I could get in those crates, but obviously it was one that I knew I wanted, so I didn't want to rely on random chance to get those drops.
So how does that salvage work? I'm really not familiar with that. Can you tweak these? That is fucking awesome, man.
Right?
What is that?
That was the Scorchers. They just do. Yeah, that was just a straight line. You just have to.
Everybody's using the same guy.
It was finally something good.
You're like, I finally got
this was really early on.
Nice. That map looks cool. As far as the salvage goes, is that the end of that video?
No. I've got another match in here.
All right.
You can kind of
the
see.
Salvage goes, you can modify weapons, but does it do? Can you put it into like any category? Like take the salvage and make this gun have better accuracy or better handling, or how's that work?
No. You're unlocking modified versions of that gun by spending your salvage.
Okay. So it can be different levels of rare, elite, or I don't know how that stuff is.
I can't remember exactly the tiers, but it was essentially that. It's like ultra, there's rare, there's stuff like that where there's tiers to that specific gun. You can get those in the drops, and they are obviously in those tiers of how hard it's going to be to get them in the drops. Or if you have extra salvage, go in there and spend it on that.
Can you? All right, so I'm not understanding exactly. The salvage is the salvage different tiers as well?
No.
Okay,
no,
so the salvage is just
currency.
A straight currency.
Yeah, you just earn that.
And then you can spend that on different tiers.
Yes.
And you can only earn the salvage by what?
So I'm looking at it, and I thought I was getting it at the end of games. I know I'm getting keys. You may get salvage actually from those. I know you definitely get salvage from those crate drops. So I think you spend the keys on the crates, and then in the crates you can get salvage.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you get a duplicate item, you get actually a ton of salvage.
It's kind of the same system that they had in the black market vendor. I think they just are taking it, notching it up a level for us.
Yeah, here's another map. I don't know exactly where it is, but some desert planet sort of thing. Maybe Mars. Probably Mars.
We'll go with Mars.
Yeah.
Red planet.
Yes. So you can. What I'm saying is you can specifically upgrade that weapon that you want rather than have to rely on randomness. But if you need to rely on randomness, you're going into those crates, and people who do want to spend money will have an advantage there. They will get more crates. whether or not those crates are actually super useful to them.
I mean, because you don't just get weapons and that stuff. You get like calling cards and
get
gun
everything.
skins, right? I mean,
yeah. Oh man, yeah. There's tons of stuff that you unlock. There's also another thing that you can focus on for unlocks is these mission teams. You choose a different team to be a part of, and then they have individual missions like, oh, get 5 multi-kills in one match, and then when you do that, you get special bonuses and unlocks and stuff. There's just a ton of stuff. I didn't actually even get my head around everything that there was to unlock in this game. It's just a ton.
It sounds like
of
they
unlocks.
really took a hard line on we've got to give people reasons to keep playing this game. And those different the mission structures for the different teams, I did see that at Call of Duty XP. That did seem like a wrinkle, at least on the traditional formula. That would be one of the big things that they've added over Black Ops 3. Those. And I think I actually said that in my impressions of just playing this for a very short period of time was, kind of echoing what you're saying here in that it's all on the periphery. Like the gameplay kind of feels the same. The Black Ops 3 core is there, but what they've added is in those things to keep you going.
Yeah, if this game gets its hooks on you, you are in for a long haul of unlocking everything and then prestiging and then unlocking everything and then all of that. There's just
we've come a long way from just prestiging. Right? Yeah, you've just got a lot of shit to learn.
Prestige your weapon, stuff like that, which I know isn't new, but it's still crazy to me that there's just all of that. I never even prestiged. I played Modern Warfare 1 hundreds of hours. I never prestiged because I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to keep all my stuff.
Oh man, I always did. I think part of it is like with friends and stuff. You're like racing, who can get there first, and yeah, we've did it. I have some friends who take hard lines, and they're like, no, there's no fucking way. I'm not doing it. Some people are like, well, you can watch me do it, and we'll compete.
Yeah, now that I've unlocked everything, the game actually gets to start.
Well,
now I get to play.
They've also added over the years where if you prestige, you can keep like an item or something. You can take, if you really like something, you can take it with you. So each time you kind of build, once you get to a certain level, you build, you pretty much have your class. A lot of people get attached to specific builds in these games. What did you think about the rigs themselves? Like, did you think the power-ups were overpowered? Because I know when I played it, like, some of that shit feels cheap, man. And it felt cheap in Black Ops 3. Some of the things. Like, when you put those power-ups in the right hands, they can be, like, devastating. But in this game, like, you've got a guy that just takes a shield and starts bulldozing his way through everybody. And you've got, like, people who can warp around the map. I mean, did any of that stuff to you, playing it extensively, did any of that stuff feel cheap?
I honestly would say no. But I may be alone in that. I definitely... I see your point, and here's the first time that somebody did that bull charge to me, I was like, what the hell was that? That is ridiculous. And then I think it maybe only hit me one more time, and then every time after that, I had a counter to it. I knew what to do.
Right.
So it seems like one of those things that everyone's going to have a snap reaction to. Everyone's going to go, this is bullshit.
Because I just got
annoying.
Killed. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But when you do it, you're like, that was fucking awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. And, to me, like, even these power weapons, the one that I'm using, the claw, if I die, it's gone. So I've got to turn that thing on at the right time and not get shot in the back 2 seconds after I turn it on, which sometimes it sticks around, sometimes it doesn't.
Right. So it takes some skill to use these things. You have to use them at the right time, which is very similar to what Black Ops 3 was. It's not just, you're not invincible.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're definitely, they are types of things that can swing a match, but everyone has one. You get to customize it, change it to the one that you feel is best for your playstyle. For example, my one of my power-ups is that my score streak never drops when I die. So
so you get to keep going.
I get to keep going. It goes slower, and you can only use each one time per match. But for me, who, let's say, rarely gets more than 3 kills a life,
Right.
that's amazing. That's great. It augments my my play style. It makes me less terrible at the game, and it lets me actually enjoy these score streak stuff. So that's not necessarily the power-up thing, but that sort of stuff on the rigs I thought was really nice. It let me sort of customize the game more to my play style.
You're liking the Scorchers.
Yeah, it's nice. I switched at one point. There was a thing where you get to choose 3 different targets and then missiles fire on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Scorcher was still the best, I think.
Yeah, it looks like you were getting better, but journalists usually stink at these games. I
was like that was a topic of
75
discussion.
and 10 at the last year's thing.
I wish you could have been at this one. There were 1 or 2 guys who were just really good at the game.
Yeah.
But everyone else was talking about, I do pretty well at these sort of things, and then I get it at home and I'm terrible.
And it's just get shit on. Yeah. Because the Call of Duty community is fucking brutal.
Yep.
At these games, but sounds like you had a good time with it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I saw, like you said, that getting better at the game was nice. I got to see kind of the skill gap or the skill curve that Call of Duty has. It's been a while since I've actually gotten into the higher levels of Call of Duty, and even if it wasn't with millions of people who will likely destroy me, it was definitely nice to get to see that with our little group, and I think it worked well. It was definitely a good time. Everyone was enjoying it.
Well, this will be part of our review. You will have a full review for Infinite Warfare here shortly when this video's up.
Yep. Yeah, this has too many spoilers, so we'll save this for when the review is officially out, which should be... Yeah, if you're watching this, the review is out. There will be a link in the description. Check it out. I won't ruin the score. Just click the link. I wrote a lot to describe my thoughts on Call of Duty. The campaign, the multiplayer, and the zombies mode all kind of add up to, I think, a good game. It's definitely a flawed game. It's got some issues here and there. Those flaws are less so in the multiplayer. And anyone who's looking for good, solid Call of Duty multiplayer, you're going to find it here, just like every year. With that said... thank you for joining us. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to watch the single-player video or check out our review, check them out in the description below. For Will, I'm Kyle with attackofthefanboy.com. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like. Possibly subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/fanboyattack. Thank you for joining us.